Hey, you there, thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today, I have a 7v7 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxys map generator. Let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players. Starting off with Team 1 in the southwest and ending with Team 2 in the northeast. Starting off with Team 1's northern player and then working our way in some direction southward, we have in real purple, it is Team 1's Moi. He is a Seraphim for this match as a 2000 rated player. To his southeast, we have in Pac-Man yellow, Bro B. He is a Cybran. He is a 1200. To his south by southwest, we have in Snow White, aptly named, it is Frost Monster. He is an Aeon. He is a 1200 as well. In orange, the color orange, in the southwestern corner of the map, most likely at least one Rearguard side player for Team 1. It is Kareem. He is a Cybran as a 1200. To his northeast, we have in Tropical Ocean Blue, Lieutenant Lich, not just Lich. He is a 1700 as a Seraphim. In Barbie Pink to his south, we have as a Cybran Wi-Fi. He is a 2200. He is the highest rated player on Team 1, but he is also tied for the highest rated player overall. And last one leads for Team 1 in Royal Blue. It is Forkotia. I think I'm saying his name right. He is a Cybran as a 2000 rated player. So for Team 1's side of the map, they have 4 Cybrans, 2 Seraphim, 1 Aeon. Team 1 lacks the UEF faction. Starting off with Team 2's southern player and then working our way northward this time, we have in Amethyst Purple, it is Cunning Fox. He is a Seraphim as an 1800. In Light Tan to his northwest, we have in, I was going to say Light Tan, but I already said that. It is Babel. He is an Aeon. He is a 1400. In Rust to his north, we have Pepe's. He is a Cybran as a 1600. And next door to him, we have in Glow in the Dark Green as another Cybran for Team 2. It is Sai Zolan. He is a 1600. In the northeastern corner of the map here, we have in Ruby Red Derp. He is a UEF for this match as a 1400. To his west, we have in Stitch Blue, customary color for Will-O-Wisp. He is a Seraphim. He is a 2200. He is the highest rated player on Team 2 and tied with Team 1's Wi-Fi for the highest rated player overall. And rounding out Team 2's lineup, we have in the water here going for a nice little naval facility. It is Kaz or Cozy or something like that. Kaze. Anyway, a couple different names to say his name, at least that I think. He is a 1600 as a Cybran. So for Team 2's side of the map, they have the one and only UEF player of the match, which is very rare, I think, considering it's a 14-player game. And it's not Willow. It is Derp. Usually Willow plays UEF, at least that matches that I have casted him in recently. 3 Cybrans for Team 2, 2 Seraphim, 1 Aeon, 1 UEF, as I said. So Team 2 has all of the factions. Team 1 lacks only the UEF, but they, of course, have 4 Cybrans in tow. So lots of Mantis, lots of possible Telemazers, and, of course, with a somewhat naval-centered map, going to be a lot of those Salems. And for these 14 players on the map, let's take a look at the reclaim situation before they scoop it all up. Currently sitting at, ooh, that's not great. It is a little over 100 mass per player. Definitely not even worthy talking about. Looks like a large clump over here to the west with a couple of wrecks. And the southeast as well, I would presume, given it's a mirrored, of course. Not a lot of mass to scoop up. So it's going to be really, of course, eco mass extractor focused. And then there's really not too many of those as well for the game. Taking a look at Team 2's side of the map, there's this upper plateau position that I will just call a Trimax because it's kind of just on its own up there. And venturing to the front line, we have another Trimax here for Sizolan and another Trimax on this upper plateau. So there's really not a lot of mass in terms of extra mexes. So players are going to be very stingy with, oh, excuse me, there's another Trimax here with Willow. But there's really not, like I said, not that much. So a little bit more time is going to be needed to get to the massive amounts of T3, T4 like we love to see. So we'll see how this game progresses. But again, with 7v7, players are going to die. I highly doubt that there's ever been a 7v7 where no one has died. I haven't casted the game at all, and nobody has died ever. So the likelihood that there's a 7v7 and no one died during the entire match is, I mean, the probability exists, but it's probably just really low. Taking a look at where our players are headed off to in this game, we have a 1v1 in the northwest pond between Koze, again, however you pronounce his name correctly, and Moi. We did have Willow drop a nice little base up there, but there's distance building, and I think that's really only going to go Team 1's way here shortly. It's a distraction at a minimum, but it's not going to last too much longer. In the middle, we have kind of a 1v1 between Willow and Broby, but no real engagements yet. He just finished his gun upgrade. We also have a 2v1 right... it's kind of like an amalgamation over here. But the first com-on-com action has occurred, at least that I've noticed, between Cunning Fox and Frokotia. Frokotia getting great damage on that com for Cunning Fox. Has dropped him into the red. Ooh, first kill of the game pretty early. No, less than 1,000 hit points, but that is super dangerous to be in. He pops out of the water without any coverage, and he is a dead man. Somebody make a torp, says Lieutenant Lich. Just go for that kill. And talking about over here, we have 3 players from Team 2 besides Cunning Fox in the water here. We see everybody is just rushing to come help him. Or kill him, depending if you're Team 1 or Team 2. So it looks like, again, 4 players for Team 2, 3 players for Team 1 in the direct middle of the map. And in the east, looks like it is a kind of a 2v1. We see that the upper plateau position that Willow was positioned at on the western side has actually been contained quite well by Team 1's Wi-Fi. So he'll retain control of that position for now. But it does look like some toes in Navy are being dipped into by Babel. So he's going to help out Navy on this eastern side. It's mainly being driven by Team 1's Vorkotia, so it's going to be something that he's focusing on. But, of course, he's being sort of kind of pushed back in the middle of the map here by Team 2. It does look like Cunning Fox will make it out of there. It's going to be very tight. Team 1 tried to intercept, but it's not going to kill him off. He does get some shots from a bomber inbound from... Who is that? That's Lieutenant Lich, but I don't think they're going to get him. Another bomber passes overhead, but yeah, there's some interceptors inbound, so I think he's going to make it out of there. He just needs to get back into friendlier ponds, but there is a danger. If he pops into this pond, there's a lot of T1 subs here that can easily kill him off, so he needs to either dip in and dip out or just coast on the beachhead and call it a day. I think the beach is probably a better idea. We do see in the middle of the map here to the west, a couple of units just poking and prodding. There is a wall section being built to divert Willow's focus down this way instead of directly running at him. Definitely don't blame him in that regard. We do see in the northwest, Team 2's Kaze is going for a upgrade in the middle of the pond. Most likely stealth. He has T2 and Torp missile on board. Torp launcher on board. And Moi is producing some T1 subs. I can never remember what they're... No, that's a... Yeah, that is a sub. Okay. So we'll see how he gets on with that. We haven't seen really a lot of movement in the backline here for either team. Obviously, it's not a 20x20, but it is a 7v7, so there's a lot of roles to go around in terms of, hey, we might need another air player. But we see T3 air online for Team 2's Pepe's, and T3 is almost done. So... for Derp. So Team 2 does have... Oh, Willow's getting into... So 3 air players for Team 2. That's a lot of air power for Team 2. Team 1 currently sitting at... maybe 1 over here, but at least 1. And then 1, of course, already online for T3 Tech. So possible 3v3 air fight. So Team 1 and Team 2 having 3 air players. 3 confirmed for Team 2. Not yet confirmed for Team 1. Looks like Wi-Fi really wants to push this eastern side. And he's essentially in Cunning Fox's base, building Team 1 PD. I mean, with no gun upgrade, it actually is a better idea to go for Team 1 PD. It, outputs more damage than just going for his gun, which is a very smart play from him. We do see Cunning Fox's inbound. There's Team 1 PD here. This will wipe him out if he comes anything within range. He has to be very careful. He does have some Team 1 Zooey nearby to try to deal with those Team 1 PDs. Overcharge would probably take out that one if he has enough in his tank, which he does. Cunning Fox is inbound. He's also dropped, sorry, not inbound. He's inbound to his own base, being assaulted by Wi-Fi, but Wi-Fi has some forces been dropped up by that upper plateau base. Getting in and just wiping everything out. He's going after the E storages. Great job there from Wi-Fi denying the overcharge. If Cunning Fox doesn't have, was it more than 7,000 mass in his bar, or 7,000 mass, 7,000 energy in his bar, then it's not going to matter. We have some continuous bombing rates, and there is the first kill of the game going to Wi-Fi's nice little Corsair. They're great snipe there. And of course, that was heavily assisted by Forkotia. Pushed Cunning Fox, or forced Cunning Fox to retreat all the way back. And in the middle of the map, we have a nice engagement here. Lieutenant Lich under heavy fire. T2PD being built next to Broby's comm, pretty much. And Saison coming in with a gun and stealth, and there's that kill. All the Team 1 units wiped out. So almost a nice little counter kill here. And it drops the game briefly from a 7v6 to a 6v6. But we do see Broby's now under fire from the PD now that his teammate of Lieutenant Lich is down. He probably will make it home, given Kareem's coming in to assist a little bit. But he's going to definitely be hurting by the time he gets back to base. He has nano and gun on board, so he'll rep up to the green quite quickly. Again, Wi-Fi is still over here. Almost. Ooh. Okay, well, I was going to say almost dead, but Corsair comes in and finishes him off. I mean, was it worth the kill? You'll have to decide that in the comments, but I mean, it was a nice, like, I'm just going to full send it and call it a day kind of thing. But it's one of those scenarios where is that going to matter? Because Team 1 has lost their highest rated player. Team 2 has only lost one player, so it is a 6v5 in favor of Team 2. It was shortly in favor of Team 1, and then Team 2 essentially got a double kill. But Team 1 has lost the northwestern pond there. Southeastern pond still favoring Team 1. Seraphim facility is knocked out. Aeon facility is kind of still working, but Corsairs are now being dealt with by some counter Corsairs from Team 1's Forkotia now. But unfortunately for Team 1, that's going to be a lot of weakened power on this eastern side. A lot of APM just doesn't exist over there anymore. But of course, Team 1, 2 players on Team 1 do have dual base. So Forkotia gets that secondary base from Wi-Fi, and Lieutenant Lich, his base gets given over to Broby. So that will, of course, have a lot of more punching power in the middle of the map. But Team 2 is getting some more comms and gunships online to assist with dealing with land forces here shortly. Willow going for an upgrade by Kaze's comm. He has T2 Navy. He's producing some Sirens and Salems. And, of course, he's sitting on the shoreline. And the western side here for Team 1's Moi is just not looking super hot. Which is actually a fun game, by the way, if you've never played Super Hot. It's I played it on console first, and then I played it in VR. Definitely a different experience. VR, I think, is definitely the better choice for that game. For sure. T3 Air, and T2 Air, not upgrading to T3, but he's going to be busy with the eastern side, so I don't blame him for not going for air right now. Babel walking down Kareem's comm in the middle of the map here. Not great for Team 1 survivability long term. We do see some Ilshis nearby for Babel. Babel getting shot at by those units. Turns around and fires a nice little overcharge there. It allows Kareem to get away. Broby inbound to assist. Again, gun and nano on board. But Team 1, again, is kind of just split down the middle almost, where, Forkotia is dealing with a naval invasion and, of course, possible land invasion. So he's going back and forth. And in the middle here, we have Broby trying to cover soon to be the western engagement. And, of course, any possible just run-bys down the middle. Babel does drop hit points very, very quickly here. Drops to... Oh, he gets him from in the water! Ooh, nice hits from those fervors there. Oh, those fervors or... No, those were Zooey. Those were Zooey. Ooh, that was very lucky that AoE is just barely wide enough to kill the calm off Babel. Ooh, he's going to be a little bit annoyed about that probably. It is now a tied-up game once again at 5v5. Oof. We've had 4 players dead before 20 minutes. Just like I said, there's just too many players in a game like this to have everybody live to the end of the match. It just doesn't work. Babel, not Babel talking to Willow about use hover. Oh, probably talking about land, maybe? I don't know really what he's focusing on. He's focusing on air, it looks like, so he's probably just going to hold back, secure the middle, and call it a day. Team 1's Western Front over here has essentially collapsed. Moi is retreating, and we see, of course, a couple of T2 units. Mostly the Salem is the concerning point because that can actually walk onto land, and bad things happen when they do that. The Team 1 has to build some counter T2 artillery to deal with those units. Spamming up T3 mexes here for Bro B, trying to get his eco up very, very quickly, like I said earlier in the match, because it's kind of, you know, lacking. But I guess in the east, Babel's comment about hover is mostly dealing with the Navy on this eastern side, not on the western side, so scratch what I said there. But, you know, of course, he's being pulled in different directions, so I don't blame him. Willow's sitting on almost 300 mass income. And Team 1 and Team 2 actually producing almost the same amount of mass. It's about a 20 mass ahead difference for Team 2. It's going to slowly rise due to the bombardment over here to the west, taking out more of those mexes. It's going to eventually be taking out that base from Moi, but he's still living on as much as possible. He's going for a gun upgrade as soon as he can, just to get as much mass use before it just goes up in flames. But with 3 air players for Team 2, and it looks like at least 2 of them going for air grids, one of them, I think, going more for a supportish role in that department. He at least has access to T3, so broadswords and strap bombers are probably going to be mainly the only 2 things he builds. And engineers, can't forget those engineers. Nano repair started for Moi. I think he's going to go for just Seraphim Rambo comm. He could go for regen ore, but there's really no units left for him to regen, so that's kind of useless at that point. We do see... Is that PD or is that artillery? I think that's... Oh, no, those are missiles. I mean... Cyberns don't have the missile launcher capability on their cruisers, so that's not a worry. It's mainly the T2 artillery with the Salems moving. That's the main concern. You can even see the Salems already kind of in range of the base here. Oh, that T3 mech that was just upgraded to is now being shot at. That's sad. Anyway, in the eastern side, hover coming into the base here for Kotia's naval facilities. And again, it is blazes / ascendant / whatever else is on this eastern side. So there's not a lot of firepower in terms of direct line, but it is of course just annoying. T3 strap bomber over the top will get knocked out almost instantaneously here. Don't really know. Looks like they went after these T2 mexes, which is fine. That's 12 mass a second that Kotia's not getting anymore, at least for now. But was it worth a T3 bomber? I don't think so. At least that's my opinion. I guess in terms of the mass dumping, long term it's going to be better for Team 2, but short term it's better for Team 1. T3 air is now online for Team 1 for Kotia, going for whalers, it looks like. They're trying to help out his naval fleet with getting some air superiority in the gunship department, not the air fighter department. In the east, this position's still online, but I say that with some trepidation because that little brick force that's nearby, the little one being 2 of them, is probably going to be enough to take this position out. There are some Team 1 PD lining up here, but the bricks should outrange that. So if they're being microed by, who is that, Sizoan, that shouldn't be an issue for him. We do have more forces now stacking up outside the naval facility here for Willow. He has a couple of laser cannons, and he's keeping them moving, so you can see a lot of the shots are missing because the lasers don't miss 99% of the time. They don't miss, and the simulated rounds can miss, so great use. Are those just on patrol? Oh, he's actually microing them by hand. I mean, he could just put a patrol route and have them just go back and forth, but, it sometimes is easier just to move them manually. The amount of firepower here does favor Team 1, but you can see that destroyer lasting a lot longer, gets another destroyer online, and is able to hold off Team 1's aggression. So great micro there by Willow. helps out to keep this base online for him and for the rest of his team. A couple of bricks inbound from Sizolan again, now on this western side. And now we see Moy on the front lines getting just bombed. Just like no business over here. A lot. Ooh, nice grab there by the bombers. Does it grab it does grab the second cruiser as well. Nice. So that means that those cruisers are knocked out. Not a lot of AA there. And now we see some bricks inbound. And again, as much as it is nice to see Salem's walking on land and causing some nonsense and whatnot, some chaos, a couple of T3 bricks is more than enough to deal with that at close range. Oh, and I will point out that Frostmuster is Aeon, and he was producing the T3 Solace Torp bombers, which are deadly. They're very, very deadly. And only unique to the Aeon faction. They get gunships and they get T3 bombers, and Seraphim get nothing. You get ASFs and bombers. That's it. That's all they get. I mean, they technically have a T4 bomber. Technically, that's unique to them. Granted, the Aeons have the donut, and the Cybrans have the bug, which, you know, as I always say, I don't like. And then the UEF have pseudo, air quotes, an air-land experimental known as the satellite that not a lot of people like. I like it. I like it. Its tactical use is very nice, even just for the constant vision and lasering mexes, but I do get the annoyance that they can cause. It's like, well, it's just cheap. You just, you know, it's a point-and-click adventure at that point. You just point, click, die, but anyway, that's, you know, I won't get on that soapbox today, at least at this point, or at least have that discussion. There aren't any satellites in this game yet, so we'll keep that at bay. There is a UEF player in this game, so he could build them, but we'll see. Anyway, in the Navy, once again, we see Team 1 just stacking up more and more forces, trying to keep Team 2's Willow at bay, but, you know, those lasers, they don't miss. That is the benefit of having lasers. Gunships inbound, though. Now, these are a lot more difficult to dodge. And we do see they're going to go after the flat cannons. Definitely a great use there here for Kotia. Take out the stuff shooting at you and then take out everything else. And now we see he's going to go after the headquarters. This is very smart, going after the engineers as well, reducing the ability for those, you know, destroyers to be built. We do see some ASF stacking up here for everybody in the air department for Team 2. Team 1 stacking a little bit of the forces up. Team 2 definitely in air control territory at least. I guess there's more ASFs over here, but the thing with having multiple air players is it's more difficult to coordinate 3 different players around one target, as an example, for a bunch of air than it is for one player to just circle and take out everything around them. So it's what I've seen, it's usually beneficial to have some of your own air forces and then give the majority of them to one player. So he's like the main air player, and then you have kind of the secondary and tertiary air players. Maybe you'll have one control the ASF and then one player controlling the gunships, as an example. You could have that. So, or the bombers or experimentals or whatever else would be in that column. But, you know, it's 3 players. Again, way more difficult to micro would be the better way to put that. And, a little bit of an air grid, more of an air grid, and a little bit of an air grid. So it looks like Team 1's main air player is going to be Kareem, and Team 2's main air player, it's like I said, it's kind of split. Looks like Willow has a little bit more, but it's not by too much. And we do see that Pepe's is expanding as well into a secondary air grid. I do love that. I do love this kind of just have smaller air grids, and then you can shield them a lot better and keep them more protected. But Chicken online, and soon to be a second one for Willow. So I don't know if that's the first experimental, but it's definitely one of the firsts. Team 1 has 3 Cybrans. You would think they would have produced a Monkey Lord by now, or at least been started one. Lieutenant Lich says GC. That is not a GC. That is a chicken. Some things worse. Some things not as worse. It gets closer to range, or closer in range. That's worse. If it's farther away, it's not as bad. Looks like chicken is... Oh, it's halfway done here for Team 1's Broby. No Monkey Lord built by Willow. Looks like Broby actually gave over a base to Willow. So he's back on 1 base. But I do love that. You say, hey, take this base. That way you can actually at least fight, and you're just not just sitting there hanging out. Do love that teamwork there. Bricks in the expansion base here for Team 1's for Kotia. Not great, because that just means all that dead maxes is not producing a mass, which is not really a super big concern now that he's wiped out Navy over here, but it's still annoying. And maybe we'll see, again, kind of a counter walking on land scenario. Both players in the water, northwest and southeastern ponds, do have Cybern Tech, so that is a possibility to have two sets of Salems on opposite sides of the map walking around. We do see Forkotia in the base, of course, helping out, going for no upgrade, but going for a lot of T1 to everything. He has gun and stealth. He'll probably build nano, because most Cyberns do just, you know, if he goes stealth, you might as well just go nano and be done with it kind of thing. D2PD assisting with taking out this chicken. And we see lots of Coronas being gifted over to Kareem. It looks like air fight will occur. And I mean, you can take the air fight. It's not really going to yield anything one way or the other. There are some gunships here for Team 1, so that's possibly the main distraction here. And we do see some Solaces inbound to assist with the naval bombardment from Team 1 or Team 2. Chicken is down. Fortunately, doesn't do a lot of work here for Willow. Tactical Nuke started for Derp, so that'll be fun to watch. Of course, he already has the missile online. Cloaking started for Pepe's. Interesting. We'll see if he goes for laser. He has torpedo, so that's not going to help him on land, but it will help him in the Navy. Not going to matter, though, because land is going to be a little more important. Look, the Salem walk has occurred. Laser started for Sizolan. So Team 2, one of their Cybern players, he goes for laser. I guess at this point, both teams have 3 Cybern players remaining, so an equal chance of somebody going for Telemaser. It is only 26 minutes on the clock, so it's not that far into the game, but it is starting to be thought about, you know, game ender, how to end the game, T3 artillery, nukes, all that sort of things are either thought about, starting to be planned for, or have actually started being built, one of the 3. Oh, and then Pepe's canceled it anyways. But taking a look at the game overall, while Team 1's southern side is holding back Team 2, Team 1 has lost 2 players. That's Wi-Fi and Willow. Not Willow, sorry, Wi-Fi and Lich. Willow's on Team 2. Team 2 has lost Babel and Cunning Fox. So it's a 5v5 game. Both teams currently sitting at 1.2k income for Team 2, 1.4k for Team 2, 1.2 for Team 1. That's not helpful. 1.3. So it's a little bit in the lead for Team 2, but it's not a terrible amount where it's, you know, 1.7 versus 1.2 or something. So, and it's a lot of back and forth. Of course, there's a little bit of reclaim here for Team 1 because of this chicken. There's a secondary chicken inbound for Willow now. That's going to probably try to secure the first chicken reclaim. But let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. Of course, if you haven't done so already, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And we're going to go back to the eastern side of the map where the Salems have punctured the eastern defenses and have now just started running a muck. And it is, that looked like it landed on water, but it didn't, which is where gunships inbound. They are the Renegade type, so they're a little bit weaker, but there's enough of them where they're going to slowly deal with the Salems from Team 1. Of course, you can see the hit points. They are falling slowly, but they are falling. And he's just able to produce a lot of them, stack them up very quickly. And he's sending them in waves. He's not sending, you know, 1 or 2 or 3 at a time. He's sending about, you know, a wing or so in at a time. There's 1 ASF inbound, but that'll maybe help take out 1 gunship, but not by much. There is some AA on board the destroyer, so it's not like they're completely vulnerable, but all that damage is just not helping out. So it did take out a lot of mexes, to be fair, on this eastern side. Took out an entire base. Team 1 is, of course, trying to claim it. There's some counter land forces for Pepe's, and some ASFs are inbound. Maybe a Salem or 2 will be saved, but I don't think it's super worth it. These should have come in, of course, a minute ago, but there could have been other things going on. It looks like Team 1 has roughly well, okay, there's more in reserve for Pepe, so maybe not. And the ASFs are fleeing. This, again, like I said, it isn't a super big map, but it's big enough to be, you know, the ASFs are far enough away in an encounter to not get there in time kind of thing. Northern side, 1 brick. That's all that's been dropped up here by Team 1's Moi, and 1 brick is all you need. Unless they send some strap bombers or something, that's going to be another T3 mechs killed. That's going to be another T3 mechs killed. Will is not going to like that. 28 minutes on the clock. Southwest air grid expansion. T3 artillery has been thought about before 30 minutes. Love to see that. Another air grid expansion here, and then SMDs also thought about. There should be at least one more in this lineup, probably on this upper plateau position right here, just to keep it a little bit away from the land invasion if it ever occurs. Chicken over here to the north, helping to protect the naval investment from Team 2. And of course, the chicken wreck is still here, and Team 2 desperately wants to make sure that nobody on Team 1, or just anybody, regardless if it is not specifically Moi or not, gets access to it. No monkey, no chicken online for Team 1 on this western side, surprisingly enough. We did see that chicken being... Okay, well, never mind. It's over here by Broby's comm. Never mind. So, it's inbound. It's just going to take a second to get there. We do see some more units inbound from Broby in the water department. And there are some engineers online for both Willow and Derp has some engineers all the way on the front line. Wow, nice drop there just to get to... some extra mass on the front line. ASF's inbound to help clear the skies and help protect the chicken investment. There's some bricks having some fun against some Optims from Team 1. And the chicken, of course, does not have torpedoes on board, so it's not really going to help out. But the reclaim is going to go to Team 2, it looks like. There are some Medusa inbound, which will reduce the reclaim wreck a little bit, but nothing too crazy. Main thing, of course, is the engineers being killed. It is a chunk of reclaim at a minimum that Team 2 desperately wants back. We do see some gunships inbound from Team 1's Prokotia going after T2 mass fabs, excuse me. And that was worth a couple of T3 gunships. Of course, if they were fully ringed, all of them, that's 8 mass a second times 5. That's 40 mass per second. Obviously, it also reduces the mass extractor from 27 to 18. That's 9 times 5, so that's 45. He killed off 85 mass a second with 2 gunships. I saw 2 gunships. Maybe there was a third one or something. Very, very efficient. Oh. Was that a Billy Nuke inbound from Derp? That was a Billy Nuke inbound from Derp. Nice grab there. Moi does not like that. He's like, eh. Oh, I thought he was building... I saw the TMD that they were being built here, but I guess it got canceled. So that comment earlier about these should be artillery and not TMD should have been TMD if he had, built some of those. I bet there was probably one in the mix here for Team 1, but Moi's like, nah, I don't like that. So nice grab there. Apologies for missing it. In the eastern side, another Salem walk is occurring, and it's gotten further into Team 2's territory. Ooh, look at this. They are inbound, and it is not a good day for this eastern side. This game is shifting from a northeast and southwest to essentially a north v south, where Team 1 is in the south, Team 2 is in the east. There's tons of mexes over here. We have a comm being upgraded. He's rooted to the spot currently. He's going for cloaking. He's almost going to be done with that. And if he's done with that here shortly, he's going to easily deploy. Another Billy Nuke lands on this side of the base here for Moi. So 2 bases nuked, or, boom, I should say, boomed. They have not been kaboomed. The Billy Nuke does not get the kaboom, just gets the boom. Chicken inbound. Don't land your ASFs here. That's bad. Don't do that. Another T3 mix is going down. That upgrade is going to finish. So this is what Team 2 can see. Of course, this is what Team 1 can see. The comm is... Oh, look at that. It was just spotted. Oh. So they probably know about the cloaking laser commander. Oh, man. It just went... And he's gone. Almost instantly disappeared, but ooh, no, the air grid here for Team 2's Pepe's. I mean, that's not super great. Of course, Team 2 has 2 other air players and a secondary air grid for Pepe, so it's not like the end of the world if he loses part of it. He does kill off the chicken. Gets actually not as much veterancy as you would expect. Huh. I mean, Not great. Ooh, his T3 air facility almost went down. Oh, it's trying to keep it alive. Oh, no. There's a Monkey Lord inbound now from Team 2. Saison to assist. He dealt with the rest of those Salems. T3 air facility barely survives. We do see Pepe's is building a crab, and next door to that is a nuke, so that's good to know about. Good thing I checked on that thing. Nope, that's not a satellite. Another nuke being started here for Team 2. Only issue I have with everything about this placement, are these things right here. All these E-storages, that's like asking for a missile to rain in and destroy everything right there. Just food for thought. Again, they're not sitting next. It'd be worse if they were T3 Pigeons, of course, but still. So 2 nukes have been built almost simultaneously by Team 2. No other bigger plays from Team 2 as of yet. Team 1 in the southwest. Artillery still waiting. He's going to build the Pigeons first, and then I would assume the shields. But everybody knows what happens when you assume, so I will presume. And then nothing else in Team 1's side of the map. So looks like they're just trying to keep Team 2 at bay at that point. Chicken inbound to the east. We see Salem's walking on land now to the western direction, but I don't think they'll get that much work done. Whalers stacking up here for Team 1. Love to see that. They don't have access to broadswords. Only Team 2 does, but, you got to work with what you got. You have a couple of bouncers running around, and of course Pepe's is holding position near those mexes just to secure it. ASF count. Willow currently sitting at 58 plus an additional. Actually, I could just hit Control A, couldn't I? 58. So he's sitting at actually sitting exactly 100. With, again, additional forces from Derp and Pepe's running around. So those look like Willow's going to be the de facto air player for Team 2. Looks like other players on Team 2 have other ideas. So they're just going to gift most of stuff. Not everything, but most of stuff. Nice boom over there here from Derp. He's up to 5-star vet, 22,000 mass kill. That will at least alleviate a little bit of the pressure on the eastern side. Gunships get killed off once again. Looks like that was a restore. Just got wiped out almost instantly. I think Team 1's going to start to play a little bit more defensive at this point. Income situation. Team 1 has skyrocketed. It went from 1.4 to 1.2, 1.3 when I made that comment or whatever, my little mid-game status update, to 1.9. Now, maybe that's partially power related for Team 2, but man, that is a huge discrepancy. Obviously driven by the death of a couple of mexes over here by Pepe's, and that's probably power related now that I think about it. No, he couldn't run it. That's right, he couldn't run his cloaking if he didn't have power, so not that. Not that. Though, yep, those are galaxies. Big boat, small pond, small-ish pond. Chicken online for Moy. He's probably going to try to walk in, and then there's chicken online for Team 2's Willow. Is that same chicken that's been there for like 6 or 7 minutes at this point? He's producing another. He's just produced one. He's producing another one. He's going to build chickens and chickens and chickens and more day and call it a day. Hovertham T3 artillery installation. Thank you, Willow, for building a shield before you started building that. I really appreciate that. Everybody needs to build at least one shield for a nuke, for a game ender, for an artillery piece. Maybe if you're really worried about it, a chicken or, like an experimental or something, but it's not that important. Chicken beat chicken fight happens. Team 2 heavily, gonna win that fight, and then the chicken's gonna pop back into the water. Maybe take a tiny bit of ion damage, but not gonna be too bad. So the ion storm, of course, pops to the top of the water, and you can see the ion storm actually just doesn't even hit him anyway, so it's a moot point. Brobeep finishes another experimental. It's another chicken. Needs more mass in his coffers, so going for some mass storages now. Shields being gridded up immediately by Kareem. He's thinking about artillery. He's like, well, if I start launching artillery, Team 2 is going to start launching artillery. So I'm going to be hit for a lot of damage, so I'm just going to shield up now. Smart move there. I don't know if Team 2 or Team 1 knows about. No, they don't know about that. Team 2 know about anything? No, they just know about a couple of P-gens. So it's nothing really. I'm going to check something really quick. Nuke has been spotted. The other one back here, he's not been spotted. And that one is a little bit under half. This one is a little bit over half. It's actually getting a lot of assistance down. Another Billy Nuke lands over here. Boom. Pepe's still charging forth. Salem's can't see him. There goes one. Oh, nice little double damage there because they're stacked on top of one another. Ooh. That's rough. It looks like there's a little bit of an animation glitch where, let's see if I can get it to, nope, okay, the Salem's going to walk back. But it looks like the Salem kind of like jerks downward to the ground and then almost like it wants to fall down, but then remembers, oh, I have to do my death animation, so then pops back up and then crashes again. I think if you rewind the video, I can't do that. I wish I could do that in a replay. You don't know how many times I wish I could do that. If you rewind the video and go back, you might see it just like jerk for a second. I could be completely just blowing smoke, but I think the death clone on that there's something to do with, because it's a naval unit in the land situation, it has something to do with the conflicting death clone, I think. And the only reason I know the term death clone is because I played Star Wars Empire at War a lot and watched YouTubers talk about it, and especially the mod developers specifically, and they would talk about how they'd have to make their death clones, because most ships in that game, when you kill it, the Star Destroyer breaks apart, or something blows up on a ship, or something that when it loses all its HP. So there's essentially an animation specifically for that unit, and they just call it a death clone because it's a clone of the ship, just it's dying. So, one chicken here, we can kill SMD, says Sizolan. Oh yeah, it's right there. Oof, that's not great. Nice notice there by Sizolan. That's why you got to have a backup SMD, which he is building one over here and loading it. T3 artillery construction has now been started, and yes, he did build the shields. Now, in this case, you don't have to build every shield. Of course, at least one. And if you're going to build only the artillery, maybe just the one. But since he built all the P-gens, it can easily cascade if Team 2 notices this. So it's good that he built at least a couple more. These another Billy Nuke lands. Boom. Pepe's has been spotted, it looks like. So there's an Omni somewhere, or a spy plane flew overhead. One or the, oh nope, there's an Omni over here. Look at that. So Team 1, they know where he is. Pepe's is probably like, okay, they're shooting at me now. Just gonna go back and just go home. Gotta find the Omni and take that out. Team 2 has 2 Omnis in the middle and going for suits there. So literally just intelligence, intelligence, and intelligence. So one for off the field of view, what would you call it? I don't know, vision, and then one for the fog of war. Chicken is down for Team 2's. Willow's second chicken is losing a lot of HP here. He probably will survive. There's a crab trying to walk away. You probably should have just fought the fight and helped take out the second chicken from Team 2's Willow. That's not going to help. It would have taken out at least a couple thousand more HP. Oh, bricks are going to be close to killing it. If they get any closer to that ion storm, they'll be hit, but I don't know. Yeah, it's going to be a little close there, but I think the chicken will survive. It'll just be kind of just scrap metal at that point. Western side from where he's still holding on. He didn't give up. He's continuing to push forward. Love to see that. Some comment about derp in the middle of the map. I don't know what's going on with that. Is that 52 or 62? That is 52,000 mass killed with that. Billy Nuke done a great job with that. Just annoying, Team 2 Team 1 the everywhere. Frost Monster builds another experimental. It is a Colossus, and Nuke is outbound from Sizolan, I would imagine. Yep, and then that's... Oh, this second Nuke got taken. Ooh, nice grab there by the Othams. They had to have been... Were they transported in? They could have been transported in. Oh, that's not going to be good. There goes that P-Gen. But that Nuke being killed off, that's rough. That's got to hurt. There goes that. I mean, maybe it was reclaimed because the terrain hasn't been modified because of the UEF placeholder, not placeholder, but like the placemat, whatever the heck that thing is called, where it's essentially the texture. It's like the creep from not World of Warcraft, but Warcraft, where it's just like you don't have to build the creep and whatnot. Or is that it's creep from creep's from StarCraft. Is it? Wait. Because StarCraft and Warcraft have that same mechanic where they have that, thing that infects the ground so the units can move faster. I think it's creep for Warcraft. I can't remember. It's been ages since I played either game, so I really can't remember. Whatever the Zerg thing is, and whatever I even forget what is it the undead or whatever the faction. Anyway, somebody knows about something, and they can comment about it down in the comments if you do know to remind me. I just can't look it up in the middle of my cast because that's not how that works. Artillery is done for Willow. Of course, first shield is done already, of course, and he's going for P-gens and then going for an additional artillery. Now, in this case, I would definitely put a shield right where these two engineers are sitting, and then two NGs right here. Get another shield going just to, again, protect the second one. Because once Team 1 notices it, they're going to go for it, which they're already feeling the pain a little bit. Artillery is half done, and looks like shields are going up pretty much everywhere for most players. And we do see chicken still running around. That chicken is dead. Oh no, that's the chicken that almost died. That's a newly minted chicken for Team 1 though. That one's dead, and Willow will just walk that right back into the ocean. Eastern side here, a couple of bricks hanging out. Chicken for Broby over here. Team 1 does know where Pepe's is, because he's still in range of the Omni, so I think that's kind of a will they, won't they scenario. Soothsayer online, so Team 2 knows what's going on. No big plays. Oh, that whole air grid essentially is gone. Team 3 air facility is kept, which is good for Team 2, but man, that's got to hurt the power constraints, of course, for wherever Derp went. I don't think he's been using teleporter. I think he's just been transporting his comm everywhere. It's cheaper than building a teleporter. And then you can keep the T3 engineering suite, I think, is where that slot goes. If I find... Oh, there he is. Yeah, he has the T3 engineering suite. Build the Nuke a little bit faster. It is outbound. It's going for this. Ooh, that's going to be a great grab if those Authams don't move. Ooh, Nuke is inbound. Let's see if it actually hits it. Shield says Broby. Shields. Yep. That's a lot of P-gens. That's especially with artillery landing in right next door. Not great. Not great coincidence. Oh, the Authams are moving. The Authams are moving, but I think it's a little too late. Oh! Ooh, that's gotta hurt. Willow, yep, exactly, right? Like, ooh, that was not good. Great grab by Derp. Gets him up to 72. I think it was at 52 at the time, so about 20,000 mass killed. Target Willow, says Kareem. Well, I mean... Oh, I can't see this, says Pepe's. What? Oh, because they're in the water. He needs a sonar facility. Incidentally enough. But he has vision on it. Wait, that doesn't... Hold on. Yeah, what the heck? Why can't he see this? That is weird. It's not because he's in the water, because I feel like you can see units normally. Do they have... Oh, no, they don't have stealth on board, do they? I don't think they do. Doesn't see underwater. I mean, I was like, I thought they did, but maybe not. For some reason, I thought they could see underwater. Anyway. Cloaking started for Sizolan. Oh my, somebody's been just sim-sitting it. They're going to hit the right buttons. No, I always push the wrong button every time. Just building crabs off the shoreline. Look at all this big boat, small pond nonsense. Just raining in shots constantly. Moye's just been under assault for essentially the entire game. It's just not been great for him. How long till loaded? Ooh. Ooh, he has one loaded here, and he's... Oh. That's not going to be good. If Team 2's SMD right here falls, that nuke silo was definitely in range. Ooh, that is not great. There's also an SMD here. It's not loaded. That would be a great target to take out the central intelligence gathering stations for Team 2. Another Billy Nuke outbound from Derp in the east. No, there's not as much here as the other one did, but nah. This might win us the game. Oh, just a random artillery piece that can move in the corner of the map. Just hanging out. Oh, Billy Nuke lands. Boom, takes out the bricks and the Salems. Man, Derp has been just on point with the Billy Nukes. Oof. Gunships waiting to engage. We just see the slow death of bricks over here due to that crab. Like I said, if Team 1 can take out that SMD, this is all dead. There is a backup SMD over here, but they could edge nuke it a little bit. Don't think it's in range. It probably barely... Yeah, it's barely in range. They could probably slop it right where the more shields thing is, and then they would... maybe not. Maybe not. I think it won't clip it. I think it'll just be out of range. Crab is inbound. I don't see why. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 galaxies in the water. That thing's going to be dead meat instantly. And then you have all the Salems nearby. So that crab's just going to take thousands of damage for essentially walking 2 feet forward or 2 meters forward, depending if you're used to the empirical or metric measurements. I will say, for everybody who's not in the U.S., Celsius for me way easier to remember and know and understand. It's a base 10 system. 100 degrees is boiling, 0 degrees is freezing. I also played Frostpunk, so it defaults it to Celsius anyways. So it's just nice to see the round numbers other than, it's 42 or 32 or whatever. It ends up setting it for Fahrenheit. But I don't think I'll ever be able to convert to kilometers versus miles. I grew up with it too much, I think. So I tried. I actually switched my Google Maps to kilometers. I just couldn't really visualize a kilometer, I think. I can mostly visualize a mile. It just depends if it's a country mile versus a regular mile. That is kind of the same thing, but not really. In the eastern side, strap on with a couple of Corsairs are inbound, and I think they're going to go for that SMD, and they're not gonna get it. No. No. It's gone to the more defensive, how long can we last part of the game. Essentially, what's the least amount of work for the most amount of effort, and it's mainly just going to be defend and build big items, which the Scathis for Team 1, granted, it's actually not fully shielded. There's a big, huge gap in the shielding, and that's a very interesting image. That might actually just be the thumbnail. Because it's, I think you missed some shields there, bud. That's very funny. I don't know why that's funny to me, but it's just like, yeah, it's shielded. Sure. Maybe an artillery piece is going to sit here. Eastern side. Ooh, that Billy Nuke's going to come in and kill off a couple of T3 mexes for Colt. Yeah, that's not going to help his construction of a Scathis by any means. T3 artillery raining in on the air grid for Frost Monster. That's not great. Going to lose access to that. He's building his own... He's building a Salvation. So... Oh, and then boom. So it takes out those mexes over there. So the only problem I have with this is it's not like, oh, you went for a Salvation. Great. It's, you could almost just build a Paragon and then build a Salvation. Granted, that's more time it takes to get to said Salvation, but you can use the Paragon a lot more than you can just one artillery piece. Another shield, another chicken, more mass fabs and PGens and air and whatnot. Still one artillery piece for team 1. Still two artillery pieces for team 2. Oh, broke the shielding a little bit, but he's getting more shielding up, going for a bomber now. I wish you would put a little bit more shielding on this eastern side or the right side of the... Just, you know, essentially mirroring these two shield gens or emitters right here just to get a little bit more coverage. You never know, just in case. Just only 2 more shields at a minimum. Granted, I'm the shield guy and the nuke guy. It's like boom and shield it. That's it. That's like my 2 main things. Like you got to put more shields on that thing and you got to nuke more stuff. That's my 2 biggest points of whatever else people talk about and whatnot. Oh, okay. No. Shield got a little bit better. It's better. It's not great, but it's not as bad as it was because they're upgrading to all the different EDs. And again, these are not the strongest Cybran shields. You can get 1 more. You have the ED5s, and of course T2 start at the ED1s. There's some conversation in chat about whatever the heck is going on about nothing. What about nothing or whatnot? I don't know. But Pepe's just starting construction on his T3 artillery piece. Yep, exactly where I thought I would put it. Don't like it's next to a T3 extractor with some mass fabs around it, but, you know, work with what you got. Teleporter started for Sizal 1, so there could be a telemazer inbound shortly. We'll see if it actually gets used or not. Western side is just gone. We do see... Oh, looks like that's where he's producing the crabs, but he's not producing another one. There's a crab here for Team 2. Chicken's going to have a nice little hug session with that thing. He's like, no, you're paying attention to me. Is that... Is he trying to body block? I think. But I didn't know you could walk essentially into the units. That's a little weird. A little crash damage there. Nothing too bad from Team 2's perspective. Artillery still running in. Looks like it's only the 2, so there's not a third. Oh, looks like Team 1's diverting attention to other things. They're not going to break that shielding with only 1 artillery piece. Salvation looks like it's been abandoned. Air grid is down. The SMD that was here is also down. Eastern side over here. There's chickens, more shields, more to everything else. There's still that 1 artillery piece for Team 1. Scan. Oh, but whoa. Hold on. Willow control Cade. What's up with this?
Strategic launch detected.
He didn't die in some PGen explosion. At least I don't think he did. No, he's over here. That's unfortunate. Especially having the highest rated player just randomly dip. That's always sucky. Especially right after he built his Albasa bomber. That's unfortunate. But, you know, it happens from time to time, so not a super big deal, but it is unfortunate. It definitely does not count as a kill. And do not count those as kills. They're just external forces, whether it's power loss, internet loss, whatever, but the Scathis is online. Nuke. Okay, please tell me you built an SMD. You did, and it's not loaded. And it's dead already? Wait, hold on. Oh, it's right here. So, yeah, Team 2 found about that immediately. Nuked it almost immediately. And there is an SMD there. It's just not loaded. And, oh, it actually hits a little bit to the right. I don't think it's going to hit the Scathis. Kaboom! Barely an inconvenience. Counter nuke outbound from Team 1? I think. Oh, yeah. It's going to help, for sure. I don't know if it was super worth the sub-nuke, but what is this? What is that over there? You, sir, you were on a very... Wow, that's... Nope. Boom, and then looks like Control K in the water from Team 1. Nuke lands here. That's control K from Kareem. So he gives everything over to Mui. Or it gets over to Mui. Western side starting to not look good once again. Again, most of those galaxies are out of range, so they're kind of just dead weight at that point. Again, 2 artillery pieces still intact. Nuke outbound once again from Rokotia going after... I don't know what he's going after. Bomber is inbound. Scathis is now over here. Team 2 has spotted it for sure. And you can only imagine where that thing is going. Oh, now that's just... I wouldn't say overkill would be the word. That's definitely justified, but... Sorry, Derp. As much as the Bowie nukes have been on point, and then the... Looks like a strap bomber came in. Gets a Bowie nuke out at the last second, but... unfortunately, sir, your Bowie nuking days are... Boom! Or, sorry, kaboom! Over. Does get that Bowie nuke out at the last second. We'll take out some Team 2 Mex, and Derp, you know, that's the notification from being defeated. I was like, wait, I just saw his death. Oh, that was nice revenge there from Team 1's perspective, especially from Kotia. He got bombed several times over here, and then, of course, we had, I think it was Broby's forces were just annihilated. And another explosion. Oh, yeah, that's just that boom down there. Takes out some T3 mexes, so that's nice. Scantus, wherever the heck. That's now just a glorified paperweight in the water. Kaze control Ks. Whoa, what's going on with everybody leaving? We have not had a desync, and there is not a desync, so that is the thing. But we've had 3 players depart, one after the other. Oh, crashes, I guess. Oh, we are winning though, says Faraz. Crashes, I guess. Oh, he's probably talking about Kareem's departure. So the game goes from a... I mean, it was an actual kill for Derp, or on Derp. So 2 departures for Team 2, 1 departure for Team 1. Artillery is down for Pepe's nuke outbound. Once again, another sub-nuke. And, of course, APM is definitely going to be taxed severely now at this point due to the loss of several players on, well, both teams, but specifically Team 2. Team 1 only lost 1. And that Monkey Lord in the middle of the base here for Team 1, that's not great. Pigeon will explode and actually help kill off the Monkey Lord, so that was interesting to watch. But the SMD is dead nonetheless. That's the most important part. And that nuke is... Isn't there a nuke outbound from Team 2? Or is that from Team 1? That's from Team 1, I think. Where'd it go? Well, I guess it didn't go anywhere. It didn't land or whatever. Nukes killed off 63,000 mass. T2 artillery is done. T3 artillery is done. And another nuke has been started by Team 2. Saizoan now up here. There's a backup nuke. And it's just artillery wars at this point. Especially with the Scathis still out. Oh, no, he's firing again. Okay. Oh, I love this, though. Just spam the shielding and call it a day. Which, again, that would work. Oh, I thought that artillery piece was done. I guess not. Ooh, broke through the shielding a little bit. That's not great. Oh, both those shots missed. Very, very lucky. That one's named Echo now. It has 1-star vet. That's why it's named Echo. It probably has an automatic naming mod on built in. It is nice to kind of just look at, oh, that one has veterancy. That's not a lot of shielding. This is what Scathis is designed to take out. Just semi-shielded or very weakened shielded or no shielded positions. And you can see spam shielding immediately assisting the main one, at least at a minimum. It is ED4. You could upgrade it to ED5, but, you know, food for thought. Those like Mui is done with the T3 artillery now, so second one's online. Get more shielding. Put one right there and one right there if you can fit it there or not. If not, put one right there. And then right there. And then right there. And then right there. And then right there. Everywhere. 47 minutes on the clock. SACU on the front lines. It's a RAS one, so... Oh, no, it's a Rambo one. Okay. But... Ooh, chicken and crab fight. Chicken's going to lose that fight, but the Ion Storm is going to be the more important part. You got it close enough. We have just more and more nonsense flowing in from Team 1's western side from Team 2's. perspective. SAC is going for Frost Monster's Calm. That's not great. He booped himself on that. Oh, that's not great. He has sensor pack. Oh, that crab's in range. Oh, that's a dead calm for Team 1. Gonna hide behind the Colossus now. Oh, artillery raining in as well. That looks like a Duke shot. That shield's not gonna last much longer. Oh no, it's a disruptor. Okay, but it looked like a. Oh, it looked like a Duke. Maybe not. Not seeing more artillery, but there he goes. Sorry, I scrolled away, but he was gonna die in a couple seconds. But there goes that calm for Team 1. It's now a 3v2 in favor of Team 1. And T3 artillery is it's still fine somehow. It's still fine somehow, but one more shot's gonna kill it. Is the artillery from Team 2 still alive? Willow's artillery is still alive. And it's just not looking at that. Scathus is just not... Okay, don't put it back. Okay, you can't use the Scathus if it's on the move or it's underneath the water. I mean, you were keeping Team 2 occupied with all of the nonsense with this, but it's going to give them more time to build more shielding, and that's not great. I don't know why he wasn't even trying to target this position. I mean, yeah, there's some shielding up to the northern side of the artillery emplacements, but the main 2 shielding are right here, so that would be enough to, crack for a Scathus. Oh, that's what he was worried about. Oh, he would have been fine. There goes the Awasa bomber. Artillery's now raining in on that position, though. He goes back in the position. T3 bricks inbound, but that's a lot of spam inbound from Forcotia. That's a lot of tickle cannons. That's a lot of them. I keep saying a lot, but it's a lot. And the artillery emplacement's still alive. Of course, the main one's still alive. Spy planes overhead to get a readout what's going on. Mori being assaulted by something. Oh, no, he's doing the assaulting. Okay, I was like, that didn't look right. 49 minutes on the clock here. Team 2 is pushed back. Team 1 back to the pond with a nice little fat boy. Lots of T2 sub-killers. Nothing is getting into that water without dying. We're taking severe amounts of damage, essentially. Again, the worrisome... it does look like the artillery has been targeted once again. Shielding somewhat down around the artillery emplacements. The main shielding is being assisted, though, so that's the main... obviously, the main one is being shielded, which is the main thing, but Team 3 artillery is down. Team 1 down to 1. And remember, they have a Scathus. Nuke is outbound for Moise Calm. I don't think he'll sit there, so he should be fine. Corsair spammed up to deal with that other Rambo preset calm, or SACU, I should say. Scathus 1/4 done, says Frost Monster. Okay, there is one being built here. If Team 2 gets that online, I think that's going to be game. Because, I mean, Team 1 has one, but it keeps going in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, and it's just not staying online. Or active, I should say. It's online, just not active. They might clip Moise Calm. Another nuke outbound. This time it's from the sub-nuke. Where is this one going, I might question. It's going for... I do love the attempt because they've been sitting there for a little bit. I don't think he's going to get much. If Zizon's paying attention, which he now is. Yeah, he's paying attention. Yeah. Maybe he'll get some. That's a kaboom. It's not great. It's not as much as it could have been, but trying to hit ASFs with a nuke, very difficult. Strap bomber somewhere. I heard it fire off one of its bombs. I don't know where it went. That's Broby's Calm. Scathus firing once again, but I think the time for the taking out the artillery, I think, is past. YOLO gonna be thought about. Probably, honestly, not the best thing to put right there. He's gonna build it because he probably has mass to spend, but Maybe he just wants to end the game in style. Scathis 1/2 done for Frost Monster. I love the constant saying, hey, this is halfway, this is a quarter way. I do love that. It just keeps everybody in mind of what's going on. Like I said, once that Scathis is done, I think that's game at that point. Yeah, it's just not going oh, if that... Oh, no, there's more shielding being built. And that shield regen, so... One more volley should be enough, but we'll see. That's why that Scathis needs to be online all day, every day. Spy plane hanging out next to some mass extractors. Echo still holding it tight. Team 2 still has the Scathis. It's still being built, and it's a T3 artillery right next door to it. Never liked the placement next to one another, but, you know, do with what you got kind of thing. More shields are being built. Definitely needed. But I just don't think there's enough constant damage to keep the shielding offline long term for the Scathis to do the kill. Especially he's changing targets now. He's going after the Scathis from Team 2. I mean, that's definitely the bigger threat at this point. There's not that much around that thing. So, but not that much actually lands. And actually there's a lot of hives nearby to just insta-heal the shield. So I do think long term it's just not going to work for Team 1. That Scathis needed to stay online, essentially in that spot for a while. There's multiple SMDs that have been built. You don't need one right next to the other one. If you're just going to assist load one of them, that doesn't make sense to me. It's not like you're trying to prevent a YOLO. The YOLO's barely even started. And actually, yeah, it's barely even started, so it's a long time. Is he switching targets again? Scath is 75%. That means it's in the green, which it is. Like I said, once that Scathis finishes, I think that's game for Team 2. 52 minutes on the clock. Team 1 has 3 players left. Team 2 has 2 players left, but those 2 players they're bearing down Team 1's necks. It is, again, a South v North game at this point. It kind of tends to go that way. Artillery's still trying to rein in, but again, it's there from shielding. It's a thing of beauty for sure. All the dead everything from all the different artillery shots. These are all dead. Why are you shooting at these things? Only one shield, says Lieutenant. Yeah, okay, there's only one shield, but it's heavily assisted. If this was a Mavor, again, another situation where specifically the Mavor would be better. Yeah, look at that. Insta-healing, and it can, instant recharge, almost. So that Scathis is going to finish. So as much as, it's only one shield, this is a case where one shield can be enough. Granted, I would like some secondary shielding as just passive on-off kind of thing. But for the most part, unless a Mavor shot rains in and takes the emitter offline in terms of the capacity, Pepe's is perfectly fine. The Scathis is going to be perfectly fine. The shield is going to be perfectly fine. The T3 artillery next door to it's going to be perfectly fine. So it is not a concern for Pepe's at this point. And of course, everything's firing on that one lonely little artillery piece. And the base here for Broby is under assault. There's a couple of experimentals inbound. 1 crab is already dead. 2 is about to go down, and 3 is in the yellow. There are some ion storms activating, so that one actually clears up very nicely. But that chicken's dead. Sorry, that chicken's dead. That chicken's dead. This chicken's now online. That's going to be enough to hold off this attack, but again, it's a losing battle at this point once that Scathis comes online. Team 2 has 3 artillery pieces, and the Scathis is now online. And guess where it's going? And guess where that's going? It's been wounded. It's not dead yet, but looks like the shielding's also offline, so that's not helping things. He's upgrading all of them at the same time. Definitely not a good idea to do all of them. I mean, some of them, yes, but not all of them. And that Scathis is now essentially debunked because it's now in the water. How many nukes do you have? Says Mui. He says 0. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, Mui's like, oh no, yep. Oh, really? Lieutenant Lynch is like, Scathis is up. Like, yeah, no, they know it's up at this point. And Tort bombers in. Actually, no, strap bombers inbound. No, unfortunately, the water is deep enough, so the AoE is not enough. And all those bombers could have easily, or almost easily, taken out that artillery piece, but... Oh, never mind. The ASFs come a little bit too north. They're going to take out a lot of the shielding. Oh, almost one tap. Oh, and they do one tap it. Nice. Ooh, yeah, that's Team 1's last stationary artillery piece. The Scathis, of course, is back in the water, and Team 1 recalls. Yeah, there's no amount of work that Team 1 can do at this point to really stop Team 2's flow. So that is Team 2's victory, even with a couple of departures, unfortunately, due to, I guess, game crashing for at least Team 1's. What was that? That crashed? Was that not Wi-Fi? No, Kareem, he's the one that control K'd. But that is the game here, folks. MVP for me. I mean, I gotta give it, I think, at least the two remaining players, both Pepe's and Saison, fatigue, losing 2 players to control Ks, whether, it's their... It was most likely, like, internet crash or game crash, whatever the case may be. They kept with it. You had one player doing the more, on-hands approach, one player doing the more off-hands approach. It definitely worked. Granted, the Western side was cracked for a while, but it was just getting through the cracks. That was the problem. Team 1's tenacity was still on full display. Like, hey, we're going to just dig in and stay here till we die, essentially. So they didn't give up. So, nope, the game wasn't ended by just everybody control K, and they're like, it's just not going to work at that point. Sometimes we like to see the explosive ends, but sometimes it's just the game's been going on for so long, tired, what time of the day it is, that sort of thing. So it's just how the game goes. But I do think both Pepe's and Saison do get the MVP awards. I don't know who gets it entirely, because I like the cloaking laser. I like the nuke. I like the Scathis assisting with the shields, all those stuff. And, of course, everything over here. So I don't think I have a pick, but let me know if you guys have a pick. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see all of you in the next one.